Hi everybody, sorry for the camera angle and the limit in time, but I thought I'd show you the GE fans to date. I just picked up another one, and it's kind of good because um, it needs work also, and it'll be good to have another one to do before. Um, well, here's what I got. So I got two from the 50s, one from the 60s, early 60s, and then the one in the back, which is the 1968 or 1970. The blue one, the W16, is probably stuck. I oiled it from the front, which you're not supposed to do, and it ran free one time, and then it was stuck again, and it ran free. I just took it out of the box and plugged it in. We're going to see if it's free. I think that it's stuck. What needs to be done is all the correct process. Pull the plate, pull the C-clip, pull the bearing, clean out all the old crap out of there, and re-oil it. And then it should be fine. It's otherwise a pretty cherry vintage green General Electric. The one on the back, the 68, if you've seen the videos, has been done. Pulled the plate, did the thing. It's a little noisy on startup. Honestly, it's not but once it's warmed up, it runs really nice and really smooth. The Venturi helps it really pull a lot of air out of the house. You can use it in exhaust. It's reversible. The other two from the 50s, this one here, the plastic grate diffuser one, is probably the rarest. I only made that for 1 year from what I can tell, or something like that. That one is also kind of like training wheels for the blue one. The blue one's going to be harder to deal with because the motor is mounted to the back grate. And so I'm going to have to get that all apart. So I figured, I would work on these 50s ones first. And actually, the new one I just picked up, which is this one, is in the worst shape. It's not as rusty as the deflector grate one. That one's got a little bit of rust on it. This one isn't as rusty, but it's got some condition issues, which at some point I'll show you as we go through the fan. It does run. It ran. I got it for pretty low bread, as I did the other two. The green one I paid a few bucks for, and again, it needs work, but the cosmetic condition is awesome. So we're going to run each of these. First, let's go to the blue one and see if it actually starts up. I don't think that it will. Oh, there you go. So it's running. Bit of a slow startup. But there you go. There's high. It's rattling a little bit because it's not on the floor. So there's a big surprise. It really did start up. The last time I ran this, I had to take the grate off and move the blades by hand in order to get it to free up. So that's a little encouraging. It could be because it's so warm today. The last time I ran it, it was not as warm. But it definitely needs to be cleaned out. Here's the latest one in the back. Sorry about my torso in the way, gentlemen. And as you can see, it's a little loud on startup, but it does run. Put it low. Again, it's got a little bit of noise. Once it warms up all the way, it is quieter on low. Now, as you can see, the deflector grate fan is blowing in the breeze, which is good news for the condition of the bearing and the oil in there. All three of these are reversible here in the front. All three of these. I'm going to go to this guy. I did do a video on that when I got it. Again, nothing's been done to that, cleaned or either way. It's very, very quiet. I literally like the look of these 50s ones. And it does run in reverse as well. Now that did not push the new fan, the 50s one that's right in front of us. when the guy ran it for me, it ran pretty slow. So I really think this one definitely, this one here, you can't see my hand, but this one here definitely needs to be addressed. So we're going to take a look at that in a second. One of the things I noticed after I got her in the car is that the plate here is kind of loose. It's not really stuck on, and I think that the little tab here is broke. It's got all the buttons, and the thermostat does work. The handle's a little messed up. The older one, or the green one rather, the handle's in nice shape. At some point someone scratched up the front of the hub. I'm not sure if that was done by accident or by purpose. As you can see, it's got the tag for automatic reversible. It's got the red on here. See if I can flip it around for you. So here we are, and this one's got the, again, the red tag. Someone taped up the wiring, so obviously this has been apart. There's the box for the switches. And as you can see, it's kind of grimy. There's a lot of stuff on here. So this will definitely need to be taken apart. Who knows if this was oiled in any way. But it's not as rusty. I didn't get a chance to show you that, but if you go back to my first video on that one has some rust. This seems just to be really a little bit of rust, but mostly dirty. And this one doesn't have as much rust on the blades or anything. And we'll go ahead and run it. This is forward. Here's high. This one takes a good amount of time. Yeah, that's as fast as it's running. So that's not great. Let's go to medium. And again, it slows down, but that's way too slow. That's back to high, I guess. Okay. Let's try the other direction. Let's let it slow down here. So I imagine this will run better once it's cleaned out. You'll see it's stopping pretty quickly. So yeah, some condition issues, but it'll be a good fan to work on before I get to the one with the super breakable grate. Here is reverse. That's high. And we'll see what she does. Yeah, about the same, right? Set up low. And it's just barely moving it low. So yeah, this one is definitely a candidate for tearing apart, but that's what we're going to do to all of them. So we'll start with this one. The grates are intact. You know, it'll be interesting to pull apart the switch box. That's what I was most worried about with the earliest one, that's in better, a little bit better condition, I guess, in some ways. But it'll be interesting to see what's behind all that switch plate, and how easy that is to get in and out of there, all that kind of stuff. And again, I'm glad to have this one just because I can get into this one and learn about it before I get to the plastic grate, diffuser grate one, because to me that one's a little more rare. Even though it's got some rust on it, it's in a little bit better condition perhaps than this one is. So this will be a good training wheels fan for the next one, and then certainly for that one, because that one's going to be the most difficult to pull apart without damaging too much of the cosmetics. With either of these two, we don't have to worry too much. This one's dirty, that one's rusty. So that's where we're at. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. We got 4 General Electrics here in the Quasi shop. So thanks for watching, and have a good summer.